Hey everyone, and welcome. So we're going to dive into a topic that so many families are thinking about. How in the world do you raise your kids in the West and still hold on to your culture, your faith, your identity? It's a real balancing act for sure. We're going to walk through a really helpful three-pillar framework from our source material that gives a clear, solid game plan for this challenge. So let's get right into it.
And really, this is the big one, isn't it? It's the question that keeps parents up at night. You've moved to a new country for opportunity, for a better life. But then this little worry starts to creep in. What might get lost in translation? Will my kids lose that connection to their heritage, their language, their faith? It is a deep and totally valid concern for so many parents out there.
And we're not just talking about vague feelings here. The source material points to some very specific anxieties. There are concerns about crime and addiction, a fear that kids might drift away from their faith, worries about mental health, and then there's this idea of blindly imitating, where kids just kind of start copying everything they see around them without having a strong anchor in their own identity.
Okay, so when you're looking at all of those challenges, it can feel pretty overwhelming. Like, where do you even start? But here's the good news. The approach we're looking at today isn't just a random list of tips. It's about building a strong, intentional foundation, something solid that's built on a few key interconnected pillars. And here they are, the big three. Pillar 1, the family. Pillar 2, the school. And Pillar 3, the mosque, or your local community center. The best way to think about this is like a three-legged stool. You need all three legs to be strong and steady. Otherwise, the whole thing gets wobbly. So we're going to break down each one and see how they all work together. First up, we've got to start with the most important one, the family. The source material makes it crystal clear that this is the bedrock. It's the starting point for everything else. Before your kids ever step out into the world you create inside your home has to be rock solid.
Wow, this slide just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? The point here is that our kids are shaped so much more by what they see us do than by what we tell them to do. You can lecture all day long, but it's the consistent, positive example they see day in and day out that actually sticks. It really is that simple. Actions speak way, way louder than words.
And where's the number one place kids learn from observation? It's by watching the relationship between their parents. So here's the crucial takeaway. If a home is constantly filled with arguing, blame, and criticism, it just feels unsafe for a child. Kids are little sponges. They learn how to love, how to argue, how to show respect, all by watching how their parents treat each other. So the source material says, before you try to fix the kids, the parents have to work on themselves and their own relationship first. So within this family pillar, there's a kind of secret weapon, dialogue. But listen, this isn't just about talking at your kids. It's a two-way street. It means you're creating a safe space where they feel like they can actually tell you what's on their mind. And this is the most important part. It means you have to actually listen. Not just wait for your turn to talk, but listen with focus, showing them that what they have to say matters. All right, let's shift gears to the second pillar, the school. I mean, just think about it. Our kids spend a huge chunk of their lives in school. That environment is going to have a massive impact on how they see the world. Now, this slide perfectly captures the tough choice so many parents have to make. On one side, you have an Islamic school, which can be great for reinforcing your family's values and culture. It gives kids a community where they feel understood. But on the other side, you have a Western school, which can expose a child to totally different, sometimes conflicting ideas. The source points out risks like peer pressure, especially around things like relationships, or just feeling like an outsider for your beliefs. So what's the right move? Well, according to the source material we're looking at, the perspective is very clear. The number one priority should be preserving your child's core values and religious identity. The argument is that finding an environment that protects and nurtures that part of them is the most important thing, even if it means juggling other factors like academics.
And that leads us perfectly into our third and final pillar, the community. You'll see it represented here by the mosque or the Islamic center. Because, let's be real, the family can't do it all alone. The school can't either. You need that wider support system to really make the whole structure strong.
The community center plays such a huge role here. It gives kids a powerful sense of belonging, a place where their identity isn't just accepted, it's celebrated. It backs up what they're learning at home through classes and events. And maybe most importantly, it helps them build a network of friends who just get it, who share their values. And that right there can be the best defense against any negative peer pressure they face. So let's recap. We have our three pillars: family, school, and community. That's the big picture.
Now, let's zoom out for a second and pull it all together with some core strategies that really make this whole framework tick.
The source suggests that parents should really focus their energy on these 5 foundations. First, building strong beliefs. Then, giving them practical skills for life. From there, you nurture their healthy interests, guide them in building good relationships, and finally, making sure they have positive role models, which, hey, brings us right back to where we started with the parents at home.
And finally, the source gives some very specific, boots-on-the-ground advice. Simple things like teaching your kids to be proud of their heritage and their language. It also suggests keeping them close by for their studies, trying to live near the community center to make it easier to be involved, and even encouraging marriage when the time is right, seeing it as a way to protect and support young adults.
So after all of that, we're left with this one final, crucial question. This 3-pillar framework is an amazing roadmap. It gives you a structure for preserving identity, but at the end of the day, every family has to find its own way. Finding that personal balance, that sweet spot between engaging with your new home and holding on tight to who you are, that is the ultimate journey. So the real question to think about is, what does that balance look like for you and your family?